Michael Watson, coach here today with another video, and I'm coming back to YouTube again after a long period away, and I really felt compelled to start the channel up again. Basically, I just had some time away, enjoying time with the family and just having a wonderful time there. So basically, why I'm coming back is we're in a very unprecedented time at the moment due to coronavirus and being in quarantine, and it really does have an effect on us all. You know, every one of us who are now in isolation and trying to keep social distancing means that there's many of us there who are alone, and many of us that are going to feel trapped and isolated, for lack of a better word. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about that and give you some helpful tips on how we can maybe overcome these issues and problems. And I want to be here to help you throughout, so I'm going to try and post a video once or twice a week to help us, you know, delve into our minds a little bit and maybe use this time. We don't, you know, you go easy on yourself. You don't have to do anything in this time, but maybe we can use it to develop our emotional intelligence and, you know, develop our attitudes and the power over our minds and bodies a little bit, you know. So the first thing that I want to talk about is all of this free time. You know, we have so much time, and sometimes that can mean that we are feeling like we are not doing enough, you know, and that can really affect us on an individual and an emotional level, you know. But the fact of the matter is everyone is in the same boat. Yes, some people are doing their Instagram stories, some people are doing YouTube channels, some people are trying to stay creative in their own personal way. But the fact of the matter is you don't have to do that. And I want you to know that it's okay to just not do anything. It's okay just to get through. And so be easy on yourselves with that. So one of the things that I want you to talk about here is the idea that not doing anything is okay. Sometimes doing nothing and just allowing is actually doing more than pushing and striving for, you know, whatever it is you want it to be. Because we have to sometimes just give over control and say, I'm going to surrender to this right now, and I'm going to let it be what it has to be without trying to force or create something. So my first bit of advice is just to say to yourself, affirmation 1, I'm okay to do nothing. It is okay to relax right now. It is okay to ride the wave of this situation. I trust in the process of life, so I'm able to sit back and do nothing right now and trust that everything's going to be okay. So that's one idea of the way of looking at it, if you're not being totally proactive about, you know, certain things, you know, so don't worry about that at all. The other thing is that when we're in isolation, you know, we've got a lot of time, like I said, and with that free time comes a lot of thinking. And for a lot of people, overthinking, overanalyzing, fear, doubt, guilt, depression, all of these sort of negative emotions can start to creep in. Now I want to tell you that the mind is actually designed to protect you, not designed to make you happy. So in this situation, it's very easy for the mind to start thinking of all the things that could go wrong, all the things that you're scared about. You're going to think about them so much, okay? They're going to become overwhelming, and your mind is literally going to feel like it wants to explode. You're going to feel anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, fearful, maybe guilty, many different things, okay? So what I would like you to do is take yourself a piece of paper, okay? One exercise I want you guys to do today is just come to your breath a little bit, okay? Now, shut your eyes, and this can only take 5 minutes, right? But I need you to shut your eyes and ask yourself the question, what am I scared of? What am I most frightened of right now, okay? Don't try and answer the question. Just focus on your breath for about 5 minutes now, okay? When you start to think of another thought, you go straight back to the breath. What do I need to find out right now that is making me feel this anxious way? It's those sort of questions, yeah? So now just focus on the breath. And I want you to obviously pause the video, do that for 5 minutes, and just take your time there with that one, okay? Now, when it feels right to open your eyes, come back to the video. now that you guys are back, I want you to take a pen and I want you to write down and say the things that I'm most frightened of. And I want you just to write, and I don't want you to think about anything, I just want you to write it down, okay? Once you write that down, you have your list there of things that you're frightened of, okay? The good thing to do now is to read that list and to work out if there's anything there that you have control over. Anything there that you can make a difference to today. If it's things out of your control about like this not ending and this, you know, when will it end? Will my family members be well and healthy in this? You know, things like that. They're very frightening thoughts, okay? But do you have, can you make any difference to that really at this point from where you are right now? And if the difference that you can make is just to sit in your house and do nothing, then you're doing enough, okay? And it's okay. So you just need to tick the list of things that you can have a look at. Now, some things may come up that kind of shock you a little bit. That's okay. What I would like you to do is just now with me, guys, is to realise and go, I now release all of these fears and uncertainties because I know that I trust in the process of life and everything is always working out for me. Okay? So let me just say that again. I now release all fears and uncertainties because I trust in the process of life and everything is working out for me. Now, one thing that really strikes me in this sort of situation is a thought like this. Now, you've got those 2 exercises there. I just want you to remember those, okay? So just to quickly step back onto them. The first one is to say it's okay to not have to do anything, okay? And the next one is finding that list of fears and then affirming that you're able to release these fears with ease because you trust in the process of life, okay? Now, let me explain why I want to talk about trusting in the process of life a little bit more, okay? Now, in a place of uncertainty and in a place where the world is in a very potentially dangerous situation, we can feel like we've got lack of control and that everything's going to go to pot and we're just going to be in ultimate trouble here, you know? But the truth is that none of us actually know how this is going to turn out. And that's the level of uncertainty, okay? Now, you can imagine the worst case scenario and keep thinking about that and being frightened all the time. Or you can choose a thought that is more becoming of you and works for you in a better way. You can choose to feel like everything is going to work out for you and that this situation is only the next evolutionary step on the human conscious level. You know, how are we going to move forward from this as a society? And there's a lot of potential that we're going to move forward in a much more positive way, you know? So we need to start realising that we don't know how it's going to work out, but that's okay, because we know with the power of our minds that we can choose a better feeling thought. Now, if we imagine that life is always working for us and not to us, that's when we can start to really relax and realise that this could be a wonderful situation for us, you know, as a human race. Now, do not get me wrong, I do not belittle what we're going through, and I do not belittle how it affects people on an individual level. But on the sort of grander scale of things, there's potential for this to be us to come out of this the right side, you know, and that's for us choosing the right emotional and intelligent way to move forward. So I believe for us to think that life is always working to us and not for us is a wonderful way of thinking, because then we realise that this world, this amazing abundant world that we live in and universe that is unending in our scope, how do we know why something is going to happen and if that is for the greater good or bad? So if we just trust that we live in if we trust that we live in a universe that is more of one that works for us rather than against us, Do we live in a kind universe? That sort of thing. So I always say, I always believe that everything is always going to work out for me. And I want you to say that affirmation. Life is always working for my greater good. Everything is always working out for me. Affirmations on that sense. So we've got 3 things to think about today, guys, okay? We have to realise that it's okay to not do anything and just to get through. If you are experiencing any fears and doubts, I want you to ask yourself what those fears and doubts are, just in case you don't fully emotionally understand them at the moment. Breathe on it for 5 minutes, focusing on the breath. That's going to then allow your mind to find the answer. Then I want you to just write down the things that I'm frightened of right now are, and then just write. After that, I need you then to affirm that you easily let go of all fears and doubts and everything is always working out for you. Lastly, I want you to start to ponder on the idea that we don't know how anything is going to work out. So we can always believe that everything works out for us. Now, it's that feeling that we work in a universe that has decided that life should exist. So if we think about that on a more spiritual level, there is something at play that wanted us to experience this universe. The universe wanted to experience itself. So this is just the next step on the evolutionary scale of us as a conscious being for us to become even better for this planet. Okay? So if you imagine that everything is always working out for me, for my greater good, then you can then start to relax and realise that any situation in life can turn out to be the best situation that's ever happened to you. Now, I just want you guys to have a fantastic day. Comment below any questions, or let me know any fears that you're feeling. Or also, let me know any videos that you'd like me to share. And please do like, share and subscribe. And I'll be making a lot of videos with lessons on how to emotionally and, just spiritually evolve through this situation to come out the other side in a much more positive and wonderful place. Just have a fantastic day, guys. Thank you so much. Take care.